I am Arthur of Camelot, and I command you now, all, to fight! Fight! I do not fight before!
Arthur is dying in the middle of Camelot, with 3 crossbow bolts buried in his chest. The man kneeling beside him is Lancelot, a knight Arthur had welcomed into his home, trusted like a brother, and ordered to stand trial only minutes earlier. Arthur could have died hating him. Instead, he reaches for Lancelot and calls him his truest knight. Then he gives him one final command.
Take care of her for me.
But Arthur may not be talking about just one woman. By sunrise, his body will be burning on the water, his enemy will be dead, and the man who once cared about nothing will be left responsible for everything Arthur spent his life building. Years ago, Lancelot possessed only a sword, and a reason why no one could rival him. Lancelot travels from village to village, challenging local fighters for money. He lets the crowd believe the next man might finally defeat him, then takes his weapon before the fight has barely started. When a young challenger asks how he does it, Lancelot gives him the truth. Watch how your opponent moves. Learn what he plans to do before he does it. Every fight has one moment when victory becomes possible, and the trick is knowing how to wait for it. But there is one more requirement.
And you have to not care whether you live or die.
That is the real source of Lancelot's courage. He has no family waiting for him, no land to return to, and no future he is trying to protect. Not far away, Prince Malagant is creating more men like him. His soldiers raid a village along the border of Lyonesse, force the people into their homes, and set the buildings on fire.
Wait till they've gone! We'll all be dead by then!
Malagant claims the villagers crossed into his territory and killed 3 of his men. As punishment, he destroys everything they own. Then he tells the survivors that the borderlands have been lawless long enough. From now on, he is the law. The refugees flee to Guinevere, the young ruler of Lyonesse. This is the 3rd village Malagant has burned in a single week. He insists the attacks are lawful retaliation, but Guinevere knows the accusations are lies.
Take these good people in and give them food and drink.
Malagant wants her to sign a treaty. On paper, it promises peace. In reality, it would allow his soldiers to enter Lyonesse whenever they choose, control its roads, and enforce his law inside her borders. Her father is dead, and Malagant believes that has left Lyonesse weak enough to take. Guinevere's people want to fight, but determination won't make their army larger. Without help, every village in the country could suffer the same fate. So Guinevere makes a decision that will protect her land and change the rest of her life.
I shall marry Arthur of Camelot.
She accepts a proposal of marriage from Arthur, King of Camelot. The alliance gives Lyonesse the protection of the strongest kingdom in the region. As Guinevere travels toward Camelot, Malagant makes his next move. His men ambush her escort in the forest. The knights surround the carriage and manage to drive off the first wave, but the retreat is part of the plan. While Guinevere's guards are still watching the trees, a second force attacks from another direction. Malagant has no concern for the men he lost in the first assault. To him, soldiers are pieces to spend. Guinevere escapes the carriage with her ladies, but one of them is too afraid to jump. Knowing the attackers are looking for her, Guinevere runs alone, hoping they will follow and leave the others behind. 3 men corner her among the trees. Before they can take her, a stranger steps into the clearing.
Even breathe.
Lancelot doesn't announce himself as a rescuer. He pretends he wants Guinevere too. He talks like a man with no honor, encouraging the soldiers to forget their orders and take what they want. Guinevere seized the opportunity and dealt with the soldiers. Guinevere asks why Lancelot risked his life for her. He says he didn't. The men could have killed him, but Lancelot never believed they would. When Guinevere reveals that she is the Lady of Lyonesse, he shows no respect for her title.
Be just as pleased if you were a dairymaid.
The dairymaid couldn't reward you as I can.
He tells her he wants something else. He wants her. Guinevere warns him that she is on her way to be married. Lancelot points out that she isn't married yet. To him, a promise is only a set of words. To Guinevere, it is a choice she has already made. She demands that he never try to kiss her again. Lancelot agrees. He won't kiss her until she asks. Then he predicts that before Midsummer's Day, she will. He leaves her near the road, where the surviving escort finally finds her. When Guinevere reaches Camelot, Arthur is waiting at the gate. His first concern is whether she was harmed. His second is making sure her people know she arrived safely. Camelot is unlike Maligant's territory. Arthur has spent much of his life at war, but he doesn't treat victory as proof that he should rule everyone around him. His kingdom is built on the belief that power exists to protect, not dominate. Arthur takes Guinevere through the city he built and shows her the place that has become his life's work. She is overwhelmed by its beauty. He understands why. Camelot is more than a fortress. It is his attempt to prove that people can live under laws stronger than any individual ruler. While the city celebrates Guinevere's arrival, Lancelot appears outside the castle. A public contest is underway. Men are trying to cross a moving obstacle course filled with swinging blades, heavy iron arms, and platforms that punish the slightest hesitation. Whoever reaches the other side earns an audience with the king. When the crowd adds a kiss from Guinevere as the prize, Lancelot steps forward. He refuses the protective padding. The course looks chaotic, but Lancelot studies its rhythm. He watches each weapon complete its swing, moves through the empty spaces, and keeps going when instinct tells everyone else to step back. Within seconds, he has crossed a course no one else has beaten. The crowd demands his reward. Lancelot stands before Guinevere and quietly tells her to ask him. She refuses. He could embarrass her in front of the entire city. Instead, he takes her hand and kisses it. Arthur sees the gesture and invites him inside. The king wants to understand what kind of man would risk his life for a kiss, then refuse to take it.
I knew I could do it, so I did it.
When Arthur asks where he plans to go next, Lancelot says chance will decide. Arthur brings him to the round table. There is no place of honor at its head because the table has no head. Every knight sits as an equal, including the king. Arthur explains that service to one another is the heart of Camelot. The towers and walls are not Camelot. Those can be burned. Camelot survives only as long as its people continue to believe in what it represents. Arthur offers Lancelot a place in the city, but Lancelot has no interest in belonging anywhere. Before he leaves, Arthur gives him something to consider. A man who fears nothing is a man who loves nothing. And if he loves nothing, Arthur asks, what joy can there be in his life? Lancelot has no answer. Arthur then gives Guinevere a freedom she never expected.
You don't have to marry me because your father wanted it, or because your country needs it. Camelot will protect Lyonesse, whether you marry me or not.
Thank you.
Guinevere is moved because Arthur has removed the very pressure that might have forced her to stay. Now, her decision is truly her own. She tells him she wants to marry him, not his crown, his soldiers, or his golden city. Arthur admits that after a lifetime of war, he has begun to want something he once thought wise men were right to distrust. Love cannot be commanded. It may not last, but Arthur does not want to die without feeling its warmth. Guinevere promises to love him with her body, heart, and soul. Their private happiness lasts only a few hours. Maligant arrived in Camelot. He once sat at the round table and considered himself the greatest of Arthur's knights. But he walked away because equality was never enough for him. He does not believe men want brotherhood. He believes they want someone strong enough to rule them. Maligant offers Arthur a simple arrangement.
We both know Lyonesse is too weak to stand alone. Let's say half each.
Arthur refuses. Lyonesse is not theirs to divide. Maligant warns him that ideals are dangerous. Arthur's belief in justice, he says, will turn a small border dispute into a war. Arthur answers that peace without freedom is only another form of surrender.
If that battle must come, I will fight it.
And I! And I! And I!
The meeting ends with both men knowing war is coming. Arthur understands that Malagant does not truly want Lyonesse. He wants Camelot. Lyonesse is only the road that leads there. That same night, men disguised as messengers enter through Camelot's north gate. Guinevere comes to meet them, expecting news from home. They seize her and disappear into the forest. Malagant takes her to the ruins of an ancient castle. The place was once magnificent, but now grass grows through the halls, and local peasants carry away the stones. To Malagant, the ruins prove that Arthur's dream will eventually fail. Every kingdom falls. Every law is replaced. The only thing that matters is who is strong enough to rule before the walls come down. He lowers Guinevere into an oubliette, a deep stone pit with no door and no bars. She can see the open sky above her, but there is no way to reach it. Malagant plans to use her life against Arthur. Guinevere insists Arthur will never trade Lyonesse for her safety. Malagant agrees that sacrificing yourself is easy. The real test is sacrificing someone you love. While Arthur's soldiers search the forest, Lancelot finds the fortress alone. He enters pretending to be a messenger from Camelot. Malagant demands the message, but Lancelot refuses to speak until he sees Guinevere alive. The guards lower him into the pit. As soon as his feet touch the ground, he attacks.
Jump! Jump!
Lancelot pulls Guinevere toward the water at the bottom of the prison. If the water found a way out, he reasons, they can follow it. They dive into the underground passage and escape while arrows strike the water behind them. For a second time, Lancelot has saved Guinevere from Malagant. During the journey back, she finally sees what lies beneath his fearlessness. Lancelot was still a boy when armed men attacked his village. His parents and neighbors hid inside a church. The attackers burned it with everyone inside. Lancelot survived alone. Since then, he has refused to build another home that can be destroyed. He keeps moving because anything he loves can be taken from him. Guinevere tells him survival must have a purpose. If he wastes the life he was given, he might as well have died in the church with everyone else. Lancelot asks her to give him that purpose. Then he asks her to prove she is free. Forget Arthur. Forget Lyonesse. Forget every duty waiting beyond the forest. For one moment, choose only what she wants. Guinevere cannot do it. Whatever she feels for Lancelot, she has chosen Arthur. Back in Camelot, Arthur offers Lancelot any reward he can name. Lancelot claims that any man would have done the same, but Arthur knows that is not true. Lancelot may say he cares about nothing, yet he repeatedly risks his life for a woman who cannot belong to him. Arthur sees generosity where Lancelot sees emptiness. One place remains open at the round table, the seat Malagant abandoned. Arthur offers it to Lancelot. The other knights object. He has no noble family, no record of service, and no loyalty they can trust. Guinevere objects too.
My lord, if I may speak. I owe this man more than anyone here, and he deserves any honor you can give him. But he doesn't belong in Camelot.
She says Lancelot belongs on the road, where his freedom gives him strength. But what she really wants is distance. Lancelot understands. He also knows he no longer wants to leave. For the first time, he has found something more important than his independence. Arthur has offered him trust without asking where he came from. Lancelot accepts. At sunrise, he is made a knight. He swears loyalty to Arthur, brotherhood to the men around the table, and service to Guinevere as his rightful queen. He takes the place once held by Malagant. On the occasion of Arthur and Guinevere's wedding, a badly wounded messenger arrived from Lyonesse. Arthur leads his army toward Guinevere's homeland. When they reach the enemy camp, arrows tear into Camelot's formation, and Malagant's troops charge from cover. Arthur holds his men together, reinforces the weakening side, and refuses to chase when the enemy begins to retreat. Camelot breaks through and retakes Lyonesse. Inside the city, they find families who have been imprisoned by Maligant's men. Lancelot watches an old man helped into the light. He sees children asking whether the fighting is over and whether they can finally go home. For him, the word means something different now. Arthur's dream is no longer an idea carved above a council chamber. It is the reason those children still have somewhere to return to. That realization makes Lancelot's private conflict impossible to ignore. He believes in Camelot now. He loves Arthur, and he knows his feelings for Guinevere could destroy them both, so he decides to leave. He goes to Guinevere before dawn and tells her he will not return. She asks what she is supposed to remember after he is gone. Lancelot tells her there was once a man who loved her too much to ask her to change. He turns away. Guinevere calls his name. Then she asks him for the kiss she promised she would never want. Lancelot hesitates, but only for a moment. The kiss becomes an embrace, and neither of them sees Arthur enter the room. The king does not shout at first. He simply looks at them. Later, he asks Guinevere whether she has given herself to Lancelot.
No, my lord.
Do you love him?
Yes.
Guinevere insists she also loves Arthur. Her will chooses her husband. Her heart has betrayed that choice. Arthur cannot accept a love that must be divided. Lancelot was the man he trusted most. Guinevere was the one person who made him believe life could offer something beyond duty. Now both stand before him as proof that even Camelot's king cannot command the human heart. Arthur orders them charged with treason. As a man, he may want to forgive. As king, he believes the law must be allowed to judge. If he hides the case or protects them because he loves them, then every promise Camelot was built on becomes meaningless. The trial is held in the Great Square. Lancelot refuses to defend himself by blaming Guinevere.
My lord, the queen is innocent. But if my life or my death serves Camelot, take it. Do what you like with me.
Before Arthur can question the queen, guards begin shouting from the walls. Maligant's soldiers have taken the gates. Armed men fill the rooftops, each carrying a burning torch. Maligant rides into the square and announces that one signal from him will set the entire city on fire. He orders Arthur to kneel. The king looks defeated. He tells his people that all things change, and that what he does next will be his final act as their ruler. Then he turns toward Camelot.
I am Arthur of Camelot, and I command you now, all to fight!
The square explodes. Citizens attack Maligant's soldiers with anything they can reach.
Fight to your death!
Arthur falls beneath the bolts, but his command has already turned a trapped crowd into an army. Lancelot cuts his way toward Maligant. The two men finally face each other, the knight who abandoned Arthur's dream, and the knight who once believed in nothing. Maligant knocks the sword from his hand. On the ground nearby lies Arthur's blade. Lancelot reaches it first. He drives the sword into Maligant and sends him falling against the throne he wanted to claim. The man who called himself the Law dies beneath the symbol of power he could never earn. Camelot survives. Arthur does not. Lancelot kneels beside the dying king. Arthur asks for his sword, then recognizes the man holding it as his truest knight. Not the most obedient, not the man who never failed him, the man who finally learned to love something enough to risk losing it. Arthur tells Lancelot that Camelot is his home now. He calls him the future of everything they built. Then he asks him to take care of her. Guinevere stands beside them, but beyond her rise the walls of Camelot. The city Arthur once said could burn and still survive, as long as its belief remained alive inside its people. Arthur looks into Guinevere's eyes. Long ago he told her he wanted to feel love's warmth on his face before he died. Now he tells her he can feel the sunlight. Arthur's body is placed on a wooden raft and carried onto the water. Flames rise around him as the current pulls him away from the kingdom he spent his life building. Lancelot stands beside Guinevere and watches the fire disappear into the distance.